everyone, Jules here. Today I'd like to talk about a tarot book that is related to a tarot deck, and the book is called Living the Tarot by Amber Jayanti. And this book is based on the tarot deck and the philosophy of the order called Builders of the Adytum, which is also known as BOTA or BOTA, abbreviated for short. And I wanted to talk about the book today, written by Amber Jayanti, for a couple of reasons. It's a very interesting and well-written book. This is the earlier edition that was published by Llewellyn in 1993 or 1995, and it is now in a later edition, and it is published by Weiser. So I'm going to show a little bit about this earlier edition again in a moment. Here is the later edition that's available now. I think this was published in 2004. It's still available. And this is the revised edition of the book. And this book is based on the philosophies of the Builders of the Adytum, which was founded by Paul Foster Case. And the organisation is still in place, still around. It has its own website, and you can also do correspondence courses with Builders of the Adytum as well. And this book is based on the Builders of the Adytum philosophies, and it is to do with the major arcana cards in particular, and Hermetic Kabbalah, which is the Hermetic Kabbalah that was created and founded by the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And this form of Kabbalah, which is always spelt with a Q for Hermetic Kabbalah, this book is based on that Hermetic Kabbalah of the Golden Dawn, but it has added correspondences by Amber Jayanti. So this is really her interpretation of Hermetic Kabbalah, which she calls Universal Kabbalah, and still spelt with a Q. This is a really great book. It goes through each of the 22 major arcana cards in relation to the 22 paths of the Kabbalah, or Tree of Life, but it's really called Hermetic or Universal Kabbalah in this book. The correspondences are really interesting. There is a division of the major arcana cards into 4 sections for 4 stages of life. Each chapter is on each of the major arcana cards, and there is a paragraph on the author's own experience with each major arcana card, and also a paragraph on her students' experiences with each of the major arcana cards as they were studying each card. She is actually a teacher of the tarot as well. And there are some really good suggestions and guidance on each of the cards and how to experience and relate to each of the cards, which is why it's called Living the Qabalistic Tarot. And the first book was called Living the Tarot in the later The later edition is called Living the Qabalistic Tarot. So it's all about relating to each of the major arcana cards. The other thing that's really interesting about this book is there is a tarot deck that it is illustrated with. It's very similar to the Waite-Smith deck, and it is created by Jessie Burns Park. It was created by her, that particular artist, and that deck was published in 1931 by the builders of the Adytum order. And some of the cards are very similar to the Waite deck, but Paul Foster Case wanted Jessie Burns Park to make some alterations to some of the major arcana cards. And I'm going to show you some of the pictures, some of the black and white pictures in a moment that are a bit different to the Waite-Smith deck. The other thing that's really great about this book is at the back of the book it gives you a colour guide, and that's in both versions of the book. It gives you a colour guide on how to colour the black and white cards of the major arcana. And the idea of colouring the major arcana cards from black and white pictures and using that as a form of meditation really goes back to the Order of the Golden Dawn days. So colouring major arcana cards is not a new idea at all. It actually goes back a really long way. The builders of the Adytum order was founded in about 1922. So colouring the black and white cards of the deck was very important for students to learn about each of the major arcana cards and learning about Hermetic Kabbalah at the same time. And as I was saying, for each of the major arcana cards there is a guide at the back of the book, and it relates to all of the different colours to use for the different sections and parts of each of the major arcana cards. So that is a great idea, and something that the builders of the Adytum have been doing for decades. Now I'm just going to show you some of the pictures in the book. The pictures in the new version are the same as the old version, but slightly smaller pictures. And the other thing that these books have as well is a great chart of correspondences for all of the major arcana cards as well. So that is also really good. Now I'll just see if I can show you some of the pictures from the deck, and you can still order these black and white cards and pictures from the builders of the Adytum website, and I'm going to put the details below the video for people who would like to order some of these pictures and or cards so they can colour their own with the guidance, with the guide of the colours to use. Now this, for example, is the Emperor, so you can see that this is a different version to the Waite-Smith card for the Emperor, so that's different. Just showing you the ones that are quite different. I love the Magician card. So the Magician card is different. I really like that one. I'll show you some more, a few more pictures that are quite different, that are quite well known in this deck for being different. Otherwise, the other major arcana cards are very similar to the Waite-Smith deck. Okay, well the Death card's quite different. I'll show you that one. Here we have the skeleton as the Grim Reaper rather than riding a horse. That's the Death card. And you could even colour the pictures in the book if you don't wish to order the pictures or cards from the website. And I'm just trying to find, there's another card I think, I'm just trying to remember now which one it is. It's quite different again. So the Death card, oh I think it is the Sun card, that's right. And I actually prefer this version of the Sun card anyway. Yeah, the Sun card showing the solar twins, which is a European esoteric idea, because the French or Spanish schools, I think particularly the French esoteric schools, associate the Sun card actually with Gemini, the twins. So that's how that idea came about. And the Tarot of Marseille shows the solar twins as well on the Sun card. Okay, so that's an idea of the cards that are different, but for example, the Judgment card's quite similar. That gives you an idea of the artwork. So they're the main things that I wanted to say about this book. You may not be able to get the older version. You'll probably have to get that on Amazon if you want the larger pictures. But the later version published in about 2004, I think. This is published by Weiser and quite easy to get. Living in the Qabalistic Tarot by Amber Jayanti. Because they're very similar books. It's just a revised book with a bit more information in the later version and a smaller, slightly smaller book, and the pictures are slightly smaller as well. So I'll give you an idea of the pictures. For example, these are the pictures in the later edition. So just a little bit of background on Paul Foster Case. He was actually a member of the Alpha and Omega Lodge, which was a lodge that was formed shortly after the Golden Dawn disbanded. So he became a member of the Alpha and Omega Lodge in 1912, and he founded the Builders of Adytum Order in 1922. And then the BOTA Tarot, or the Case Tarot as it's known, was published and created in 1931. And apparently there is a full colour version that became available in 1989. I don't know whether that version is on their website or not, but I will give you the details to the website for people who would like to go to the online store in case they would like to order any of the black and white pictures or cards to colour in, or to look at the website to inquire about anything else. So I hope people enjoyed hearing about the book Living the Qabalistic Tarot by Amber Jayanti, and I'll put the details about that book as well below the video. And I also wanted to do this video to let people know that the idea of colouring tarot cards has been done for decades, and the reason for doing that originally was to do that as a form of meditation or reflection on the major arcana cards, but it was also to learn about Kabbalah and the 22 paths of Kabbalah at the same time. So I'll just show you in the book, there is a picture in here showing Kabbalah and the 22 paths, which is where each of the major arcana cards are placed. So there is a good introduction in the book as well, explaining that. Okay, so I hope people enjoyed hearing about the Living the Qabalistic Tarot book and the background of Paul Foster Case and builders of the Adytum, and where the idea of colouring tarot cards came from and why, and the fact that it originally stemmed out of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, who encouraged their members to copy and colour a handmade or hand-drawn tarot deck, or to make copies and to colour the major arcana cards in particular. Okay, so I'll put the details below the video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.